JJ, what were your just kind of primary takeaways from tonight's game? Just clearly a result that you needed to get.
We came out a little flat defensively. Our offensive execution throughout the game was really good. We missed shots early, but we executed well. I thought we moved the ball well. I thought our organization was really good. And then, we went to the zone early in the second quarter, really just disrupted the rhythm for them. They hit an early three in the zone. We stuck with it. Our guys just continued to play it, and I thought that brought our level of communication up. And we were able to get some stops, kind of get back into the flow of the game a little bit with getting stops and then playing after a miss and not after a make. And then, DK just being a pro, second night of a back-to-back, gave us a huge lift in that first half. I thought Jackson defensively on the glass was big with 11 defensive rebounds. And obviously Luka, AR, and Braun. Just a lot of that three-man stuff was so good. We got great stuff out of a bunch of three-man actions with them.
What do you make out of Austin, not just these last two, but kind of late, and then specifically in these last two, 15 made threes? Just seems like the rhythm is really there on the offensive side. Where do you go first when you think about Austin?
I think he's just playing with a very, very high level of confidence right now. And I think the freedom that he's played with for most of the season, if not all of the season, has just allowed him room to grow. And I think, he continues to develop patience for when things aren't happening early for him, just knowing that, he's going to end up with 15 to 20 shots. That's just the way our team is structured. And, I thought last night was a great example of that offensively for him, and he was terrific tonight.
JJ, I think it was before the game yesterday, we asked you kind of about the three-man data for LeBron, Austin, and...
I got all of it today. Max has been working on it for 2 weeks. Some really enlightening stuff.
What were you enlightened by? Anything you'd like to share?
No, but I will be sharing it with certain people.
The first quarter, obviously, tonight with Luka struggling, like the numbers were what they were. The third quarter, again, kind of a slow start. But in the fourth quarter, it really seemed like those three really connected on a bunch of different stuff. And the numbers actually recently have been trending this week pretty positive for those three group.
I'll share it with you. When they're on the court together, we're the equivalent of the number 7 offense in the league. So, the offense has not been the problem. The Ram three, we got LeBron, a deep paint catch. He ends up scoring at the rim. We go back to it the next play. They try to overplay it. He gets the back cut for the layup. We go back to it the next play. First option's not there. Second option's not there. We get to the third option. Jackson gets a dunk. Like, that's how you have to walk a game down. Up 9, 5, 6 minutes to go. Just methodical, exhausting everything. Everything is live.
And those guys have only, I think, played 17 games now together. It's not a lot of basketball. When you saw the data, how much room is there, do you think, for that group to grow between now and whenever the season ends?
There's a lot of room to grow. Particularly just with, I think, understanding what works for us. That's the biggest thing, what works for us.
JJ, kind of following up along those lines, it feels like you guys, especially the last couple games, have had a lot of success with Luka coming off screens, whether it's been rams or pin downs or whatever. What have you seen from just kind of using him in those ways, starting in the corners or somewhere along the baseline, and just the things that opens up offensively?
I think it gets him on the move. When we've ran it, he has optionality on it, but when we've ran it and we've gotten to the post, I think one thing that has been very consistent is that we've gotten a deep paint catch, and he hasn't had to bully his way from 17 feet. He's bullying his way from like 8 or 9 feet, and when we can get Luka 2 feet in the paint, we feel pretty good about the offense.
To look ahead, JJ, you guys are going to OKC for a 2-game set. When you played each other in November, there was a 4-game gap in between wins for your two teams. Now it's 17. Just how do you look at this opportunity, this challenge to play them at this juncture of the season? Not even necessarily getting into the 2-game aspect of it, just having them on the schedule now.
Yeah, I mean, they got a bone to pick with Houston, for beating them pretty bad tonight. We're going to get an angry team on Sunday. Mark is one of, if not the best coach in the NBA. I mean, he's that good, and he's been that good for a number of years. I'm glad that their team and their program, people are realizing how good that organization is and what they've built. And I watch them a lot. They're really hard to score on. They have a number of high-level defenders. I mean, you just go down the line, and it's like we were watching pregame today, and Lou Dort's disrupting multiple plays, and then he gets subbed out, and they bring in Alex Caruso. Jalen Williams has been awesome. Shea's obviously disruptive. Cason Wallace, I think for probably every coaching staff around the NBA is a favorite. They have a number of guys that can really defend at a high level.
Hey, Coach. You mentioned Dalton. He had a quick 10 points when he checked in, had an array of way of scoring, had an inverted action with LeBron. How helpful is that skill set now around 3 ball handlers with Reeves, Luka, and LeBron for the team? Yeah,
I mean, again, I said pregame, we haven't given up on Dalton. We feel like he's a guy who can help us win a game in the playoffs, maybe multiple games, because of his shooting and his ability to score. I thought, it was a great way for him to start tonight with an offensive rebound on a crash and tip in, just showing how locked in he was to the game. And I think that the basketball gods reward that.
JJ, how would you define as this upcoming road trip like a marker of success for the team? What would you like to see out of this group as you close out the regular season and head into the playoffs?
I think it's more spiritual than anything else than results. We're going to have 3 massive tests, come home, have another massive test, and then play a really tough Portland team. So, if our spirit is right, I can live with the result, and I'm pretty confident that the results will be more good than bad.